You will see Kerala's infrastructure landscape has been transformed. We have almost eradicated poverty. Kerala is far above the rest of the country. The kind of anti-government propaganda going on is unimaginable. BJP is on the back foot. BJP is not going to make a headway.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. I know what a hectic time this is for you. Finance Minister, you're very conscious money-wise about the state. In fact, you're very conservative in the sense that you had promised that pensions would go up to 2,500 from 1,500, but it's gone up to 2,000 and you thought that's enough, we can't afford more. And then what is working all over the country is cash handouts at election time. Why didn't you do that? It works.
Very well. I'm not known as a fiscal conservative. My reputation is being the opposite. One, I've been very liberal with the welfare payments. Very substantial increase in the welfare payments, support for people during the COVID times, ensure nobody starves in Kerala. Everyone was given free Medicaid and care and so on. But then Kerala faces big infrastructure deficit because Kerala has all been focused upon social sector. And to overcome this deficit, you need an investment, something like at least 1 lakh crores from the public sector, then supplemented by central and other private sectors. How do you raise this 1 lakh crores? So we did a financial innovation, new institution called KIFB that raised money from the market and invested in infrastructure with guarantees from the state. So you will see Kerala's infrastructure landscape has been transformed very drastically in the last 10 years.
For example?
For example, you will be traveling through either roads which are newly being constructed like the national highways or greenfield roads which are designed roads. All the PWD roads in Kerala have been converted into BM and BC. Bridges have been rebuilt. So this is something very visible. And many of the roads are very iconic. Like I hope you will travel through our hill highway. Our coastal highway is yet to come up. It started only. So this is one. Secondly, assured power supply, a new transgrid 2, and a number of industrial tourism corridors being built. So it's a huge investment. Total investment, current investment in infrastructure, center, state, or others would come to something like 2 lakh crores. It's a huge money.
So do people understand that you're investing in that and that will bring jobs? Because as of now, the people on the ground still talk about Kerala, no jobs, all the youth going not just to West Asia, but Europe, Israel, everywhere around the world. That seems to be a big thing. What are you doing to keep youth in Kerala?
That's the problem. That's the challenge. See, we have taken care of the poor. We have almost eradicated poverty. Now, and if you take, say, any social index of development, like Human Development Index or Global Sustainable Goals Development Index, Kerala is far above the rest of the country. For example, Sustainable Goal Development Index, if India rank is something like 106, Kerala would be in the range of 330. So that's the kind of difference. But the new generation are all educated. Their job expectations are very high. They are not satisfied with the jobs of the parents. Even the parents don't expect the children to work in their jobs. So you have a paradox of unemployment of 2 to 3 times the national average, while 3 million migrant workers are coming to Kerala. So this is the big challenge. Do the left have a program to create quality jobs within Kerala? That's the challenge. So we want to tell the new generation, yes, we have, without compromising on the welfare of the poor. So we call it a program for transition to knowledge economy. Not any industry, but industries which will create decent work and so good pay, which are essentially knowledge-based industries or skill-based industries or service industries. Now, how to attract investment into these sectors or promote startups there? It requires 2 pillars. 1, infrastructure that we are doing. 2, transform higher education so that it produces new knowledge and creates a new innovation ecosystem, you see. So we have charted out a program for that. So we are telling we will have a society where welfare distribution is guaranteed, and also is a model in production, growth. So it's a kind of marriage between equity and growth, which we are going to exhibit in a secular framework, in a progressive culture. That's also very important, you see. Every citizen of Kerala should be able to enjoy art, literature, theatre, cinema, and so on. Because as your income is growing, now people finding fulfillment in palatial houses, buying of consumer goods, and so on. Therefore, it's very, very important to have for the socialist project that there is a truly progressive culture. Instead of material good consumption, people should learn to should enjoy cultural consumption. So you will find in the infrastructure construction that we are doing, huge stadiums and so on. Every district is going to have 40-50 crores cultural centers. We have now Binale, International Film Festival, Theatre Festival. We'll have dance, music, everything. And we will promote every literary festival that one wants to have. We will support our library movement, transform it. So this is the project of Kerala.
So all the social and cultural things are fine, but do you think you've missed the boat? The other southern states in the last decade have grown by close to 100%. You have not even managed 60%. Unemployment in youth is running at 40%. I mean, aren't you too late on all this? 40 crores in cultural things in every district rather than creating jobs.
I think we are at the right time, not late. What we have done for Kerala is at least 5-6 generations in the post-independence period have had a dignified, decent life. That's very important. There are basically 3 categories of states. You can call 4 if you want. 1, Gujarat. You have growth, but absolutely no welfare. Then you have the classical Kerala, where you don't have much growth, but you have redistribution and welfare. Then there are the whole Bimaru states, where there is neither growth nor welfare. So now we want to set an example. Okay, build on our strength. We have educated labor force, healthy labor force, progressive culture. Based upon this strength, you have a program of accelerating growth. So this is development with a human face. This development, inclusive development. So, well, perhaps we could have done it a little more earlier, but I don't regret having gone through this welfare path, redistribution path. It gave a good life to people here.
2021 election was seen as a referendum on the crisis management of the LDF. You know, COVID, the two great floods which devastated the state. 2026 will be seen as what has happened post that, governance, development. Do you think that the voters will show the same kind of confidence in the LDF as they did in 2021? Because that was about crisis management, and this is about a certain kind of accountability of what has happened post that.
You have a point there. The Kerala government performed exemplary well in crisis management. First the Nipah contained, then the floods, which was and these floods, then landslides, then came the COVID. Each of them was addressed in a manner that total support was given to the people. Say, for example, say COVID. Kerala is internationally one of the lowest fatality rate. If you factor in the excess mortality, okay, Kerala has the lowest fatality rate in the world, one of them. And a kind of total package in support of the poor. See, we were not conservative at all. Say, India government permitted all states to borrow up to 5% of the GDP. Normally you are permitted only 3% of the GDP. All the states did borrow higher, but then they were all hesitant to spend. Because by now conservative fiscal principles, borrowed money cannot be spent on revenue expenditure. It can be only spent to create assets. Therefore, do you know, the states in India at the time of COVID had 3 lakh crores of money, funds, lying unspent, and that to borrow money in their treasuries. Money which was borrowed at 7% being invested in India government securities at 3%. Is such a farcity, an absurd situation. Kerala is only one of the states which was always on the ways and means minus. I told my secretary, I don't want to see my treasury on a positive balance any single day. Keep it in, I don't care if we are on the overdraft. Spend the money, support the people. So, this is something, say, a very different experience, and people supported, you are right. Very impressed. Now, such emergency does not exist. Except for landslide in Wayanad. We should, in fact, I said, you should go and see what is rehabilitation. Okay. A whole new township is being built where the entire affected population is going to be given rehabilitation. Township with all the social amenities and so on, not just huts. Houses building back better. Just see that for itself. Okay, so that is absent now by and large. But this strategy of improving the social welfare while building the infrastructure, that has become very visible now. You see. 5 years back, the infrastructure was just beginning. National highway just getting started, new foundation stones being laid. You are saying that these are going to come. But now these are all being realized. And that, I think, is the biggest asset of the left today.
But surely it should have paid some dividends in the local body elections.
Well, that's a very, very tricky question. Despite all this, we lost the local government election. The conclusion I draw is that we lost the propaganda war. Kerala is the most media savvy state in India. Our media penetration, print media, would be 5 times the national average. Okay, 12 news channels in this little state, and internet, mobile penetration is the highest. Now something has changed in Kerala. Though we speak about it, I don't think the significance of this has struck us very much. Day in and day out, the kind of anti-government propaganda going on is unimaginable. What I would say is, if we want to serve now, we are going to release our manifesto, to take this manifesto to every household. So much organizational work would be necessary, preparing the scouts and so on and so forth. Without any cost to the UDF for the last 5 years, anti-left pamphlet is freely delivered, that too in the most professional manner. I must envy that. Professional manner to every household in Kerala. And this propaganda impact is something that we had not bargained for. And therefore, this we have to bring in the development as the main agenda of debate. Second was, for example, SIR. That was interpreted as something that Kerala government is undertaking to the minority communities, particularly Muslim community. These are some things which emerged only later, kind of. A fear psychosis has come into the minority communities, so much so they look forward to political parties that could contribute at national level. So we lost the loss of elections very badly. There was a shift. See, Kerala, only 30% of the minorities support the left. This was different before the infamous anti-communist agitation of 1959. That event was a kind of major psychological break. If you take the Communist Party leaders in southern Kerala, the first secretary of the Southern Kerala Party was a Christian, second secretary was a Christian, major leaders were Christians, so like all communities were present. But after this anti-communist struggle, the church was involved in a very big way, the recruitment from the Christians restarted only in the 1980s, late 1980s, with my generation, 1980s. So we have only 1/3, 30% support. It went down to about 25% in the loss of election. So in the local body election, an improvement came out, but not sufficient to keep the earlier position we had achieved. So, which is this handicap that we are going into the action. So we have done two things. One, a major intervention in social media, and also trying to revive the interpersonal communication system, Scots and so on. Secondly, so this outreach program is so I think this is making a visible impact, and we have an advantage. About 100 of the 140 elected representatives are with the left, and almost all of them are contesting again. So their face is familiar. They are identified with the iconic achievements in every constituency, and that gives us a big head start. I think we will repeat what happened in 21.
Moving on to another topic, this war in the Middle East. You have so many Keralites there. They come back, they send money, they go back and forth traveling. Now there's a shortage even of LPG. How is it affecting your economy, and how will it affect the elections, the war in the Middle East?
So, first economy, the remittance from Gulf is something like 1/3 of our GSDP equivalent. So uncertainty in the remittances, it needn't become a reality, but uncertainty dampens consumption, slows down growth. That's the economic impact. We have had experience of Kuwaiti crisis earlier, which was a big setback for Kerala economy. Politics. Earlier, this kind of crisis used to produce a positive impact. See, Kerala left swept 1991 election, 1990 local government election, won every district because left supporter Saddam Hussein. For a simple reason, there's a whole big tradition of anti-imperialism, and anything anti-US gets support. But that kind of ethos is also changing in Kerala, you see. For the first time in Kerala, we have seen the emergence of far right, something which was just absent in Kerala landscape. It has emerged. It's still a small minority, maybe 15% of the electorate, but it has emerged. Secondly, in the certain segments in the Christian community also, say kind of Islamophobia is catching up. Therefore, this political crisis in the Gulf needing result in kind of political fallout, which earlier anti-imperialist upsurges in the world were making in Kerala, you see. But the left has been a political formation which has very consistently taken an anti-imperialist position. So in this war, we are against Israel and US. And it forms a part of our election campaign also. It will have a positive impact, but not to the extent such stance used to have in the past. That I don't expect. So, on the one hand, there is economic uncertainty that has emerged. Two, the fallout, political fallout will be more positive for the left formations, but not to the extent as in the past.
So the LPG crisis that people are feeling on the ground, even at the hotel yesterday they were saying they're using induction and not the regular gas for cooking. Have you been able to convert that into something that people see as a failure of the central government? Because you're saying the BJP is rising as a force. The younger voters, the younger population also, for them, they probably identify more with what's seen as an aspirational India which goes with the BJP.
Well, the propaganda by certain segments is a failure of the state government. The absence of gas, the failure to distribute it, and so on and so forth. That's one snide propaganda that is going on, a narrative that's trying to build. Therefore, we have been exposing the failure of the Modi. How he has become an accomplice in the war, totally unnecessarily. That was the most wrongly chosen moment for Indian head of the state to visit Israel on the eve of aggression, you see. For no reason at all. He had no agenda other than to declare solidarity to a crime which was going to take place. Therefore, BJP is on the back foot. BJP is not going to make a headway. They have come to winning, near winning, 1 seat, 2 seats, etc. But I don't think this time the share of vote in Kerala would increase anywhere. It will go down further from the 16%. One reason is bungling, total bungling of the Middle East crisis. How India has been totally marginalized. See, we are near Sri Lanka. Look at the stand that Sri Lanka is taking. How they are refusing to bend down. But they are very tricky financial situation, you see. A kind of capital flight will cripple that island economy. But there is a Lakshmana Rekha beyond which you can't move. They are drawn by themselves. Yes, we are willing to accommodate, we want. But Indian government is unwilling to even to go give condolence, express condolence to the murder of a head of a state. So this has put BJP on the back foot in Kerala.
You use it as a campaign?
Yes, I think this is one reason why BJP position won't improve in Kerala.
But you already admitted that you lost the minority vote. You also lost some of the upper caste Hindu vote, mainly to the BJP. Are you also losing the OBC vote, which was a core vote for your party? And you said the BJP will fall below 16%, but they went up to 20% in the general election. So why are you so sure that the BJP is going to do so badly? And how are you going to stop the Congress from picking up whatever support moves from the BJP? Okay,
first the minority votes. Left used to have 30% of the minorities. Now it has come down, but still left would have 25% of the minority votes, which I think is going to at least slightly improve this time, not by itself. But something new, other thing new that has happened in Kerala is BJP's growth has been very, very slow in Kerala, popular support. The organization is very, very strong, RSS network. But they have been isolated in the Hindu community. But this changed with this Sabarimala agitation in 2019. And Sabarimala, the Lok Sabha election that year, BJP reached something like 20%. Though they won only in Trichy, but their vote share became very respectable. Now just overall 20%, which would mean they were nearing more than 40% of the Hindu community in Kerala. This is a big change. But what has happened after that? So, which segments did you make intervene in the span? Till 2000, Sabarimala, their expansion was largely confined to upper caste. But using Sabarimala, they expanded into the left base backward castes and Dalits to an extent. Now, in the years that followed, we have also adjusted our tactics. See, we had taken a position that no party member, sympathizer should be in the temple committees, in the caste organizations, and so on and so forth. But we vacated. But this was being occupied by RSS. So we decided, no, party leaders are not going to be there. Party sympathizers can and should be there. So we have recaptured most of the spaces not by the non-left faces, but by, let's say, secular faces. The tradition of Hinduism in Kerala is not revivalist, it's renaissance. The whole reinterpretation of Hinduism in a secular manner. The axiom, the slogan of Kerala Renaissance is, it doesn't matter what religion you are, as long as you are a good human being. That's the slogan coined by Sri Narayana Guru, you see. That's the ethos of Kerala. So, we say, you be religious. We will refuse to take a rationalist position, quote unquote. We'll say, respect your religion, respect your belief, but don't bring that into politics. We are opposed to state based on religion, but religious belief will protect. We also changed our tactics when we won back the ground to it. So I don't think they are making further inroads to the backward sections now. BJP's tactics is to use the caste organizations. It has a long history. In the initial phase up to independence and say initial decades of independence, every communist in Kerala worked in the caste organization because communists were asked to be very active in the social reform movement. But they also built up class organizations cutting across caste affiliations. Later, in the post-independence period, we withdrew, as I told you, from caste, religious things and so on. So now, BJP is catching hold of all these caste organizations. So we are taking a position, we will support any caste leader as long as you don't take a political position.
But when you support a caste leader, like the caste leader of the Airwas, who has been openly anti-Muslim, has made openly anti-Muslim statements, then why should the minorities trust you?
Some of them, see, you are specifically asking about Irava Community Organization. This is a prime target of RSS capture. Kerala, if you take caste using the Hindu CSDS surveys, 65% of Dalits support the left, 50 to 53% of the backward communities, particularly this community, support the left. As you move up the caste hierarchy, your support goes down. Now they wanted to capture this. So a big fight is going on in the community. The son of this particular leader has become a political affiliate of RSS. Now the father, he is formally the leader of the caste organization. So he has refused to align the caste organization with the RSS. So there is a difference in the community itself. A segment, though his own son, led by his own son, wants to openly align with the RSS, while formally the caste organization doesn't do. Now we want to recognize this difference is very important. You don't push the entire caste community organization in the fold of RSS. Therefore, we distance from this kind of communal statements. But at the same time, we'll continue the dialogue because very, very important. See, do you know why? One reason why RS is not able to make inroad is that even the upper caste organization like Nair Service Society, the caste organization refuses to toe the line of RSS. Even the most recent, the Vice President of India want to pay tribute to the founder of the caste organization. They refused. The election time, you don't
come.
come.
Alienating the Muslim community, isn't it? The proximity of the chief minister with the leader of this Erava community.
You see, these are curses. If you are traveling a car, because whole traffic is stopped, this old man, 85 plus, is walking. You think he should just drive past? So this is the kind of perception war that is taking place, you see. So you interpret it, see him, picks him up and brings him to the venue. No, it's a normal courtesy which should be extended to any senior citizen here.
So one of the big differences of the CPM versus the rest, I remember Chor Ramaswamy saying, any election is like voting between a pickpocket and a thief. Everybody is corrupt. But the CPM is seen to be not corrupt generally. However, you raise the issue of Sabarimala. In Sabarimala, there's this, and it is spreading, that the gold was stolen from there and was replaced by brass, and the CPM, two CPM leaders were right top of the board. How is that going to affect you? Are you going to be seen as corrupt as the rest, and is it going to affect the elections?
One, Kerala is the least corrupt society in India. Various surveys, corruption surveys, the transparency survey. Two, the opposition in the last 5 years, at no time, even in the opposition in the last 5 years, not even once have raised an allegation of corruption formally in the assembly. Now, at the fag end of the government, a scandal breaks out in Sabarimala. The gold-plated doors and other figurines were taken for, and then the gold was stolen. So, police case is that the CPM nominee, there was some board president, agreed to removal of these plates for quoting to say Chennai and so on. So he is also involved. So that's how the scandal broke. Kerala government told the court, you oversee the investigation through a special investigation team. We don't want to interfere. Those who are guilty should be punished. So, under the High Court, investigation is going on. And we want the Devasam Board to be totally kind of credibility among the people. Therefore, no political appointee was removed as the chairman, and senior bureaucrat, retired bureaucrat, who have that exemplary track record and credibility of the people, was appointed as Devasam Board president. But then events happened. It became very clear there were a whole lot of, including priests, who were involved in the scandal. And these priests are supported by BJP. Two, the scandal did not start during the current government regime or the previous LDF regime, started in the UDF. Things were murky, things were going on. So, its dimensions are much larger. So, let investigations go on. And whoever is guilty nobody can escape this. This kind of mismanagement that has been going on in Sabarimala. So I think one reason, you asked me why did we not do well in the local government election, one reason was this. I think that kind of sting has gone out of Sabarimala. Though people are exercised about it, left is not cornered. It's much wider. And we are telling, let the investigation take place under the court, and who are guilty, that action be taken against them.
This campaign says Mattarundo LDF allade. But in people's mind, it seems to be Mattarundo Pinarayi Vijayan allade with CPM. Is that something that is harming you?
Well, there would be certain lingering doubts with respect to this. I won't deny that. This is kind of propaganda. They are trying to resurrect it. They are creating parodies, songs in the rhythm of the traditional chants in the temple. So we have to respond to that. We have to respond to that. In this particular case, as I told you, this is the challenge we are telling UDF. Have you been able to raise one single case of corruption against any minister of the left in the last 5 years? Not even formally a corruption charge. We thought some trumped up charge should be made at least in the final session of the assembly. None. So I think our credibility on this is pretty high.
So, who are you fighting in this election? Are you fighting the BJP in order to regain votes? Are you fighting the UDF, who is gaining and did well in the municipal local elections? Who is your target? Rahul Gandhi said it's CPM and BJP together. So, who are you targeting?
Well, our main target is UDF itself. They are the challenger. BJP is not a very distant third force, except in few constituencies where we will equally oppose BJP and UDF. But you must understand, in Kerala, starting in 1960, were to defeat EMS, Janasangh withdrew the candidate against EMS Namboodiripad, and Congress and Janasangh fought together to defeat him. Starting from the time, every election, in some constituency or other, this deal has been going on. And if you look at instances where BJP has won, it has always been with the connivance of the UDF. Their vote share goes drastically down and BJP wins. This happened in the last assembly, in a parliament election in Trichy also. The local government election, this has been the instance in many places, and after the elections, BJP and Congress have come together. In fact, as in some of North Indian states, in one panchayat, Mattatur, entire elected Congress people joined BJP to have. So you will find in certain segments, they are reaching an understanding to defeat the left. As far as BJP is concerned, more than the Congress, it is the left they want to bring down. Because if BJP wants to make an inroad into the Hindu community in Kerala, which have been, as I told you, a very highly secular community because of Renaissance tradition, it's important the left is decimated. Therefore, they often have understanding with Congress. So now big controversy going on is very funny. Congress is trying to accuse that CPM is aligning with the BJP. Rahul Gandhi comes and makes this hilarious statement of CJP. And of course, left also have counter accusations. So this is a kind of narrative and counter narrative that is going on.
You talked about the BJP making inroads into the Hindu.
I beg your pardon?
You talked about the BJP making inroads into the Hindu vote bank, but what about the Christians? The BJP is going all out to attract Christian voters, and the Christians community has been, sort of being open to the BJP in a lot of areas. And earlier you've spoken about Islamophobia. Isn't Islamophobia also increasing in the Christian community with groups like CASA, defenders of the Christian faith, warriors of the cross? We tend to dismiss them as fringe elements, but somewhere they do come back to play a bigger role.
Yes, BJP has been trying to make inroad into the Christian community, particularly the upper caste Christians. There are traditional Syrian Christians who are considered upper caste, though all of them are not from the upper caste converts. But there is also the Portuguese and Protestant converts, which are more from the lower caste. Now, though BJP is making this effort, and because church is a powerful institution with a lot of, benefactors, donations from outside coming, and also educational and health institutions, they don't want to make a confrontation with the central government. Okay, that's also understandable. So using that leverage, they have been trying to make inroads in the Christian community, and a fringe element in the Christian community called Chrisangis have emerged, who preach violent opposition to Islam, clash of civilization theory and so on. But as the BJP builds the bridges, something happens in North India, the Christians being attacked, church being attacked, and Malayali priests are there working or nuns are working there. So it has repercussions in Kerala. Whatever work they do is undone by somebody in North India. So ultimately, when balance is drawn, BJP support base in the Christians are also extremely limited.
Thank you very, very much for just spending the time. I know you have a major meeting right now, but that was really very interesting. Thank you very much.